Good morning to everybody. We were discussing definite integration. We discussed limit as a sum, integration as a limit as a sum. That is not there for your syllabus for this year COVID. We already discussed it. Now from here you have in your syllabus. Fundamental theorem of integral calculus, or first fundamental theorem of integral calculus, says that if f is a integrable function on the closed interval a comma b, then area under the curve is represented with ax. Area under the curve f of x with x-axis between the limits a to b. Here between the limits a to x, f of t dt. So what I want to say is, fundamental theorem says that integral of a to x f of t dt is nothing but area under the curve. If this is f of t, or this f of t is like this, or f of x is like this, between the limits from a to somewhere x, here somewhere b is there. So if x moves to b, then it comes up to b. If x is only at x somewhere before the b, then you will get area before that. So area under the curve between the limits a to x made by this curve with positive x-axis is called as integral of a to x f of t dt. So first integral calculus theorem says that this is the area between a and x made by the curve f of x. The same thing we did with yesterday, what we call limit as a sum. By taking rectangles we did same. So that is nothing but this area only. So from that they decided that area of this curve above the x-axis, made with the x-axis, we can say simply, between the limits a and x, is known as integral of a to x f of t dt. I am taking here x, so I am taking it as t. If I am taking here t, I will take it as x. Doesn't matter. So, because here I will tell you later. First of all, integral of a of x equal to integral of a to x f of t dt, where then automatically whenever a is integral of this, then derivative of a of x is f of t only. So then a is differentiable. In the limits a to b, differentiable. So then a is differentiable in the limits a to b, between the limits a to b, and a dash of x equal to f of x. A dash of x equal to f of x or f of t. Tan t derivative, that is what I want to say. So a dash of x equal to f of x. So derivative of this is f of x, then integral of this is that automatically. So if you want, you can take f of t or f of x. It doesn't matter in definite integration. We will discuss that in the second theorem of integral calculus. This first theorem of integral calculus says that area integral of a to x f of t dt always represents area under the curve f of t made with the x-axis between the limits a and x. This is what integral calculus first fundamental theorem of integral calculus. Now what is second fundamental theorem of integral calculus? Second fundamental theorem of integral calculus. Let f be an integrable function on closed interval a comma b, and there is a differentiable function. There is a differentiable function capital F of x such that differentiable function f of x on the interval a comma b, then are such that f dash of x equal to small f of x. F dash of x equal to small f of x implies, you know that integral of f of x equal to capital F of x, because derivative of capital F x is small f x. So integral of capital F x is small f x is capital F x, antiderivative. Now between the limits a to b, if I take, this is equal to f of b minus f of a. F of b minus f of a. This is known as second fundamental theorem of integral calculus. Second fundamental theorem of integral calculus. So second fundamental theorem of integral calculus says that if small f is an integrable function and capital F is a differentiable function such that f dash derivative of capital F of x equal to small f of x, then integral of small f of x equal to f of b minus f of a, means f of upper limit minus lower limit. Simply we can say like this: d by dx of sin x, we know that cos x. So if I want integral of 0 to pi by 2 cos x dx, if I want integral of 0 to pi by 2 cos x dx, derivative of sin x is cos x. So integral of cos x, if I want, is nothing but sin x. So sin x, capital F of x is sin x. Between the limits a to b, what is limit a here? I took 0. Limit b is pi by 2. So the sum gives you sin of pi by 2 minus sin 0. Sin of f of b minus f of a means sin of pi by 2 minus sin 0. Sin 90 1 minus sin 0 0. So the answer is 1. So area covered by the cos x, according to first fundamental theorem, area covered by the cos x between the 0 to limit 0 to pi by 2 with x-axis, positive direction of x-axis, gives you 1 square units. 1 square units, we can say like that. So according to second fundamental theorem, derivative of sin x is cos x. So cos x integration between the limits gives you sin x between the limits 0 to pi by 2, because derivative of cos x is sin x. Like this you can do. So simple thing is, first find the integral of this, then upper limit minus lower limit, f of b minus f of a. B is upper limit, a is lower limit, lower boundary. So between the particular limits, cos x is conveys like this. This is 0, this is pi by 2. So area with x-axis, this area is equal to this much, 1 square units. Okay, like this we can find definite integration. Every sum you can do with integration, then apply the limits. But same like determinant, we know actual way, and we did many properties, changing rows, columns, and row, adding some, multiplying some row with the other row, adding to some other row. Like that we did properties in determinants, made our work simple. Here also there are some properties which make this work simple. First we will do this on 2 examples, then we will go for the properties, how to do the same sums using the properties of this integral calculus. Now we will discuss 2-3 sums on fundamental theorem, then we will go for the properties, how to apply. Now first of all, integral of 2 to 3, 2x by 1 plus x square. We know that this is f dash x by fx. We know the integration very easily. So this is a derivative of log of 1 plus x square. We know that because integral of this is f dash x by fx log mod fx. So this is a derivative of 1 plus x square. So first find the integration value, f dash x by fx log mod fx. Now between the limits, this is capital F of x. Between the limits 2 to 3 means f of b minus f of a. Upper limit minus lower limit, I will say simply. So that is log of upper limit 3 if I substitute 1 plus 9 10 minus lower limit 1 plus 2 square 4. So 1 plus 4 is 5. Log 10 minus log 5 gives you log a minus log b formula we know. Log of a by b. Log a minus log b is log of a by b. So 10 by 5, 5 to that. So gives you log 2 is your final value. Log 2 is your final value. Like this we will do using integral calculus, fundamental theorem of integral calculus theorem. One more sum we will do of the same kind. integral of 0 to 1 dx by 3 minus 2x. So how to integrate this, you know, there are two ways, taking this as t or direct integration. So I will take, let 3 minus 2x equal to something, substitution method, you know. So 3 minus 2x is equal to t, so what happens? Diff with respect to x, it becomes minus 2 into derivative of x is 1 equal to, now this is dt by dx, dt by dx. Now dx to this side, minus 2 to that side, becomes dx equal to minus dt by 2, minus dt by 2. So this becomes integral of 1 by simply root t. Instead of dx I can write minus dt by 2. So minus 1 by 2 I am writing outside, observe. Minus 1 by 2 I am writing outside. Now the problem is limits. So take care about the limits. These are the limits of x but not of t. These are the limits of x but not of t. So there are two ways of doing the same sum. One is first find in terms of t, then back substitute in terms of x, then substitute the limits as usual. This is lengthy process. Simple process here is, instead of back substitution, I will change the limits here itself. I will change the limits here itself. How do I change? How do I change? See, if x is 0, what will be the lower limit of t? So we will take lower limits here. Lower limit of x is 0. I am substituting here. Means 3 minus 0 equal to t. Implies lower limit of t is 3. Lower limit of t is 3, not 0. So here the limit becomes 3. And what about the upper limits? What about the upper limits? Here upper limit is 1. So if I substitute here, 3 minus 2 into 1, 2 equal to t, implies t equal to 1 is the upper limit. So here the upper limit is 1, lower limit is 3. Lower limit is 3. Observe, upper limit is less than the lower limit. Automatically you got minus. Keep those away, but I'm telling you, you will get positive area. That is what I want to say. Let it be. Even if it is negative, you should take positive area. That is the other case. Now coming to here, minus 1 by 2 into, this is integral of 1 by root t. Means root t goes to numerator t power minus 1 by 2. So x power n plus 1 by n plus 1. Minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by minus 1 by 2 plus 1. So plus 1 by 2. So t power 1 by 2 by 1 by 2. Between the limits 3 to 1. Between the limits 3 to 1. Half of cancels. Now apply the limits. F of b minus f of a. Upper limit 1 power 1 by 2. 1 only, minus 3 power 1 by 2 is root 3. 1 power 1 by 2 is 1 only, but 3 power 1 by 2 is root 3. So now if I bring minus inside, this becomes root 3 minus 1 square units. Root 3 minus 1. This becomes root 3 minus 1 square units. So this is how we will do definite integration. If you know ordinary integration properly, means you need to find the ordinary integration. You should know how to integrate this. Then you need to apply the limits. And for some sums, we can use some properties which will make our work easy. That we will discuss later. Means here, now only after this 2-3 examples we will go further. I hope this you understood. What I am taking 3 minus 2x as t. Substitution method I am going for because this is integration. So I am going for substitution method. Now when I am changing dx into dt, I need to change the limits. This is most important point you need to remember. So lower limit here is 0. If I substitute lower limit 0 in place of x, I got t as the lower limit 3. And lower limit 1 in place of x, I got t as 1. So upper limit is 1. So I changed the limits from 3 to 1 instead of 0 to 1. Now integrating, then f of b minus f of a, upper limit minus lower limit, gives me the final result root 3 minus 1. This is how we will do definite integration. And this is, I want to tell you one more thing, most important chapter is definite integration in calculus, because you have 1 7 marker, 1 4 marker, 1 2 marker for IPE, 1 7, 1 4 and 1 2 for IPE. And for JEE mains, definitely you will get 2 questions, at least 1 question compulsory. 2 questions As my knowledge, you will get usually two questions. One is of the area. We discussed the fundamental theorem, first theorem. So area function, area sum, and other is direct like this sum. One is find the area and other is this. So two sums comes from this chapter for JEE Mains. There is no other chapter which will guarantee you two questions from one chapter. There is no other chapter except this. So very, very important. Carefully learn this lesson. One more example we will discuss at the same time, then we will go for the properties. Integral of 0 to 4 x square by 1 plus x dx. Here also you should know the derivative integral of this. Whose derivative is this? It's nothing but integral of this. So we already did definite integration, so we can find the integral of this. How to find the integral of this? If you observe this, this is an improper fraction. Numerator is x square, but denominator is only x. It is an improper fraction. So first of all, you need to divide numerator with the denominator. If it is an improper fraction, you need to divide numerator with the denominator, I told. Or one more way is thinking logically also, I told. Logically means minus 1 plus 1 you can do. Minus 1 plus 1, so that value will not change. So a square minus b square, a plus b into a minus b, then simplify it. So two ways of doing. One is ordinary division, other way is minus 1 plus 1. So I am going for as usually logical method, you know. So 0 to 4, x square by 1 plus x. So I am going for minus 1 plus 1. So that value will not change. So all these are integration techniques. It's not definite integration. If you know integration, then only you can do this chapter. That's already I told you. So integral of 0 to 4, this is split into two parts. X square minus 1 by 1 plus x plus integral of 0 to 4, 1 by 1 plus x. 1 by 1 plus x. Now here a square minus b square, a plus b into a minus b. If I write x minus 1 into x plus 1, so x plus 1 gets cancelled. Left out here is x minus 1 dx. Plus here is directly I can write integral of 1 by x dx is log mod x is nothing but log mod of 1 plus x. Log mod of 1 plus x between the limits 0 to 4. Between the limits 0 to 4. Now coming to here, this is x square by 2 minus x between the limits 0 to 4. So I will do here. This is x square by 2. Integral of x is x square by 2 minus 1 dx is x between the limits 0 to 4. My plus coming to this is already integrated. Just apply the limits f of b minus f of a. So log of 4 plus 1 5 minus log of 1 minus 0, log 1 is anyhow 0 only. So this is equal to upper limit 16 by 2, 16 by 2, 4 square 16 by 2, 8 minus 4. Minus lower limit anyhow 0 only, 0 will equal substitute that only. So becomes log 5 minus 0, log 1 is 0, so log 5. So this is final answer is 4 plus log 5. 4 plus log 5. So there are two ways of solving this. One is improper fraction, divide this with this ordinary division, then quotient plus remainder by divisor, then integrate, same answer you will get. Another way is I am going for logical method, minus 1 plus 1, then splitting into two parts. So x square minus 1 by 1 plus x plus 1 by 1 plus x. Now this becomes a plus b into a minus b. So x minus 1 into x plus 1. X plus 1, x plus 1 got cancelled. So left out is integral of x minus 1 dx. Plus this is integral of 1 by x, log mod x. So between the limits 0 to 4. So here also again x integration x square by 2 minus 1 integration minus x. Between the limits 0 to 4 I applied. By applying the limits 4 square 16 by 2 8 minus 4 minus lower limit 0, so anyhow 0 only, plus that is log 4, log of 1 plus 4 is 5 minus log of 1 plus 0 is 1, log 1 is 0, so left out is log 5 there, here 8 minus 4 is 4, 4 plus log 5 is our final result, 4 plus log 5 is our final result. Now we will discuss some properties of different integration. Some properties of different integration which makes your work very easy. Some properties of different integration. First property is integral of a to b f of x dx equal to integral of a to b f of t dt is also equal to integral of a to b f of y dy like this. What I want to say is, if you replace this x by some t or some y, it doesn't matter. What I want to say is, definite integration does not depend on this variable, because you are going to get some fixed value after the calculation. So it doesn't depend on x. So you can take some dummy variable instead of x. You can take some dummy variable instead of x. All gives you the same answer. I will give you a small example. Integral of x dx between the limits 2 to 3. Simple example we will take. Integral of x dx between the limits 2 to 3. What do you get? Integral of x dx is x square by 2 between the limits 2 to 3. So upper limit is 3 square 9 by 2 minus lower limit is 2 square 4 by 2. So upper limit f of b 9 by 2 minus f of a 4 by 2. So gives you 9 minus 4 5 by 2. So 5 by 2 is our result. 5 by 2 is our result. Like this, if I take integral of 2 to 3 t dt, what do I get? Integral of t with respect to t is t square by 2 only. Now between the limits 2 to 3. So this becomes 9 by 2. If it is substituting 3 square, 9 by 2. In place of t, if I substitute 2 square, 4 by 2. So upper limit minus lower limit finally gives you 5 by 2. So both are same or not? So after here, till this it is x and it is t. Different only. But after substituting the limits, they are becoming equal. Observe. So because area does not change, it is f of x or f of t. For example, y equal to x square. We will draw curve like this only. Y is equal to, in place of x, t also curve is same. So area does not change if it is t or if it is x or if it is y. So that's why what I am saying is, it does not depend on this variable. This is a dummy variable we will call here. Dummy variable. F of x dx equal to f of t dt equal to f of y dy. You can take some dummy variable z, f of z dz, like that. So it does not depend on this x or t final value. So you can take f of x dx is always equal to f of t dt equal to f of y dy. This is the first property. And then second property is, integral of a to b f of x dx equal to integral of a to b f of x dx equal to integral of minus b to a f of x dx. We already did the same term. If integration minus is changed, limit changed, automatically it is plus only area. That area only. Integral of f of x dx between the limits a to b equal to integral of minus integral of b to a f x dx. This is what is actual integral of a to b f of x dx. If small f of x derivative is capital F of x, what do you get? This is f of b minus f of a we discussed. F of b minus f of a we already discussed it. Derivative of this is this. Now if I take RHS side, minus integral of b to a f x dx. So derivative of capital F of x is small f of x. So integral of small f of x automatically capital F of x between the limits. So minus outside as it is. This minus outside as it is. Now here the upper limit is a. So I will get f of a minus lower limit is f of b. Now if I multiply with minus inside, what it becomes? Minus f of a plus f of b. It's nothing but f of b minus f of a. F of b minus f of a. So what I want to say is, if I change the limits, I will get minus here. So this is a to b fx dx equal to minus b to a fx dx. A to b fx dx equal to minus b to a fx dx. So this is the second property. First property we discussed a dummy variable. Next coming to third property. Integral of a to b f of x dx equal to a to b f x dx equal to integral of a to b f of a plus b minus x. F of a plus b minus x. integral of a to b f x dx equal to integral of a to b f of a plus b minus x dx. F of a plus b minus x dx. How can you say this is equal to this? I will take RHS. Take RHS. In the RHS, in place of a plus b minus x, I will take something. A plus b minus x equal to, I will substitute some t. Diff with respect to x. Diff with respect to x. What happens? Now, see, derivative of a is 0 plus derivative of b is 0 minus derivative of x is 1 equal to derivative of t with respect to x is dt by dx. Now, dx to this side minus to that side, that becomes dx equal to minus dt. Dx equal to minus dt. So, what happens? So, RHS becomes integral of, now I told you while substituting you need to change the limits. So, lower limit, how can I change the lower limit? I already explained in the previous sum. So, here the lower limit is a. In place of x, if I substitute a, then a cancels, t equal to b. So, lower limit t equal to b. And upper limit also I need to change. Upper limit here is actually b. In place of x, if I substitute b, bb cancel, then t equal to a. So, changing the limits to upper limit is a, lower limit is b. And this is f of a plus bx, a plus b minus x, I am taking it as t. So, f of t into, in place of dx, I need to get minus dt, minus dt, minus dt. Now, if I bring minus inside like second property, from the second property, this minus, if I change the limits, upper limit to lower limit to upper limit, then I will get minus. Minus or minus becomes plus. So, from the second property, this minus I made it as plus, I can make it as plus by changing the limits. Lower limit to upper limit to lower limit. Now, instead of b to a, I am writing a to b, f of t dt. F of t dt. Now, from the first property, this does not depend on the dummy variable. You can take some dummy variable x. So, you can take it as a to b. Instead of f of t, I can write f of x dx. Instead of f of t, I can write f of x dx. Now, I got from RHS, I got the LHS subject. So what I want to say is no need of this proof. Just remember that integral of a to b fx dx is always equal to integral of a to b f of a plus b minus x dx. Integral of a to b f of a plus b minus x dx. Next, using the same property, I will get the fourth property, then we will do some sums on these two properties first. So, using the same property, I will get the fourth property. How do I get the fourth property from the same property? Replacing a with 0 and b with a. Replacing a with 0 and b with a. So, this becomes 0 to a fx dx equal to replacing a with 0, b with a. I am substituting in place of a 0, in place of b a. So, what happens? Integral of 0 to fx dx equal to integral of a to b means 0 to a. F of a plus b. A is 0, b is a. 0 plus b is a. Here b is a. So 0 plus a minus x becomes f of a minus x dx. So if I am replacing a with 0, b with a, then I will get the fourth property. Integral of 0 to a fx dx equal to integral of 0 to a f of a minus x dx. Integral of 0 to a fx dx equal to integral of 0 to a f of a minus x dx. F of a minus x dx. So this is the fourth property. Now there are many properties we will discuss later. First, on these two properties we will get more sums. So we will do these two. You will apply these two properties on 2-3 sums. Then we will go for the remaining properties. So we will solve using the third property. This sum, how do we solve? Integral of minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2 cos x by 1 plus e power x dx. Cos x by 1 plus e power x dx. So what is our third property saying? Integral of a to b fx dx equal to integral of a to b f of a plus b minus x dx only our property is saying. So here a is minus pi by 2, b is plus pi by 2. So if I am assuming this is some I, this I is equal to minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2 means integral of a to b f of a plus b minus x means in place of x we are substituting a plus b minus x. In place of x we are substituting a plus b minus x, then integration does not change. We already discussed the third property. So according to that property, here in place of x I can write a plus b means pi by 2 minus pi by 2 0 minus x, a plus b minus x by denominator also 1 plus e power in place of x I am writing a plus b minus x. So using this property so that value does not change. So this becomes integral of minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2 cos of minus x, 0 minus x is minus x, cos of minus theta is plus cos theta only by 1 plus this is e power 0 minus x, e power minus x, so I can write as 1 by e power x. Now if I take LCM, so does not change, minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2, e power x is LCM, I can take it to numerator, so e power x into cos x by 1 plus e power x or e power x plus 1 doesn't change, e power x plus 1 or 1 plus e power x dx. Now adding these two, this also I, that is also I, because I equal to this. So if I add these two, I plus I, 2i I will get. So 2i equal to, what do I get? 2i equal to integral of minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2, minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2, cos x by 1 plus e power x plus integral of minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2 e power x into cos x by 1 plus e power x dx. Now we know that from integration, integral of fx plus dx is nothing but integral of f plus g of x, fx plus g of x. Integral of fx plus g of x equal to integral of fx plus integral of g of x. I have integral of fx plus integral of g of x, means I can write in one integration instead of two integrations, f plus g. So integral of, or I will write in the top. So this I can write like this, integral of fx plus gx. So I can write f plus g at a time, minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2 cos x by 1 plus e power x plus e power x cos x by 1 plus e power x. So I can write these two combinedly as one integration instead of two integrations. This is 2i. So this is equal to integral of minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. LCM is same for both, 1 plus e power x. So this is cos x plus e power x cos x. Now I can take cos x common, becomes minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. If I take cos x common, this becomes 1 plus e power x by e power x. 1 plus e power x. So that these two gets cancelled. Now I got simply integral of cos x I know. But this integration is very difficult task. You should go for fx dx, then apply the limits. It's a very big task. But this is very easy. See. Integral of cos x, we know. Sin x. Integral of cos x is, we know that it is sin x. Between the limits minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. So upper limit pi by 2, sin pi by 2 is 1. Minus lower limit is minus pi by 2. So minus of minus again plus 1. So 2i equal to 2i got implies I equal to 1. I equal to 1. So answer of this is simply 1. So that's why even if you take t also doesn't matter, you will get 1 only. So dummy variable you can take. So this is how I am applying the third property. Third property, f of integral of a to b fx dx equal to integral of a to b f of a plus b minus x dx. So using that property I did this sum. 2-3 sums, tomorrow we will do the same property, then we will go for the next properties.